Released in 2024, Terrifier 3 continues Damien Leone's uncompromising expansion of the Terrifier franchise, positioning itself as both escalation and refinement. Set against a deliberately perverse Christmas backdrop, the film pushes Art the Clown further into mythic slasher territory, while testing how much narrative structure this extreme horror series can sustain without diluting its core identity. Once again, the film is anchored by David Howard Thornton as Art the Clown. Thornton fully embraces Art as a sadistic showman, more confident, more playful, and more self-aware than ever. His physical performance blends silent film comedy with cruelty, transforming violence into grotesque performance art. Returning protagonist Lauren Lavera continues to ground the chaos as Sienna Shaw. Her performance remains the franchise's emotional anchor, offering resilience and defiance rather than helplessness. However, Sienna's role is more fragmented here, occasionally sidelined by the film's focus on shock escalation and mythology expansion. Supporting characters primarily function as conduits for terror, with limited development, reinforcing the franchise's prioritization of atmosphere and confrontation over ensemble storytelling. Damien Leone doubles down on practical effects extremity. The gore in Terrifier 3 is more elaborate, more prolonged, and more theatrical than its predecessors. Violence is staged with a deliberate slowness that forces the audience to confront endurance rather than suspense. Visually, the Christmas setting introduces stark contrasts, festive colors, snow, and holiday imagery clashing violently with brutality. This aesthetic choice is one of the film's strongest elements, reinforcing its nihilistic sense of humor and thematic contempt for comfort and safety. Cinematography and lighting are noticeably more polished, suggesting a franchise growing in resources while remaining defiantly independent in spirit. Narratively, Terrifier 3 continues Leone's attempt to expand the mythology surrounding Art the Clown. Supernatural implications are pushed further, hinting at cycles of evil, resurrection, and symbolic destiny. However, clarity remains elusive. The film gestures toward lore without fully articulating it, creating intrigue at the cost of coherence. Pacing remains an issue. While marginally tighter than Terrifier 2, the film still indulges in prolonged sequences that prioritize endurance over progression. Shock escalation replaces narrative escalation, and for some viewers, this results in diminishing impact, where the film could have improved. A clearer mythology framework would significantly strengthen the franchise's longevity, allowing the supernatural elements to crystallize rather than remaining suggestive, could elevate Art from icon to fully realized horror entity. Additionally, redistributing screen time toward character development, particularly Sienna's psychological journey, would rebalance the film's emotional and visceral extremes. For extreme horror devotees, Terrifier 3 is a continuation of exactly what the franchise promises: transgressive violence, practical effects mastery, and unapologetic hostility toward mainstream sensibilities. For general audiences, the film is likely alienating. Its brutality, tone, and length demand tolerance rather than curiosity, reinforcing its status as a niche endurance experience rather than a broadly accessible horror film. Film rating 6.5 out of 10. A technically confident and aesthetically striking sequel that reinforces Art the Clown's iconography, but remains constrained by indulgent pacing and underdeveloped mythology. Final thoughts. Terrifier 3, 2024, confirms that the franchise has no interest in compromise. It thrives on discomfort, excess, and confrontation, using horror not to entertain, but to challenge endurance and expectation. While its ambition sometimes outpaces its narrative discipline, its commitment to practical effects and transgressive tone ensures Art the Clown's place among modern horror's most divisive icons. Like and subscribe. Because when horror puts on a Santa hat, it's not bringing gifts, it's bringing punishment.
You want me, baby, let me know all in this. You want me, baby, show